Hello. I'm going to put sessions on my website. I haven't been offering sessions yet because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think other people might feel this way someday when they're going through the same process of becoming a teacher or a coach or whatever, and you got to decide to charge for sessions. Well, I'm just going to make this video about my process around that. So I asked my guides and they said, don't charge less than $200 an hour, Kelly, because you channel Isis. I spent $1,000 on Stormy because of her Divine Mother channeling. I listened to that channeling and I was like, holy shit, I've never heard the Mother Goddess with such a firm authority. And I was like, if she can hold the energy of authority of the goddess, she deserves my investment. And I hold that authority. I mean, if you saw my Becoming Unfuckwithable series, which I will link below, then you can tell that I'm holding that confidence. So I do need to charge $200 an hour, but I don't know what a session will look like. I just know that I can channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to schedule 30 minutes at a time, because that's enough time to feel like I can get really deep into the energy. And then in addition to channeling, some conversation. But it's not an hour where I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Like I'm new at this, so I don't want to have a huge commitment that's overwhelming. But I'm still going to charge $100 for 30 minutes because they told me to. Even though that sounds like a lot compared to what I would spend. However, I am also going to give discounts for the first people because I'm still figuring this out. So I'm going to do like 50% off for the first 15 bookings. And once it's out there and I start getting people emailing me, because I got my QR code on a flyer and I'm putting it up, I'm going to put it up in dispensaries because they're excited and it's a win-win for both of us. So I'm going to increase clients for dispensaries because you got to start somewhere, and until you're growing your own, you got to go buy it. Growing your own's not that simple. You need a lot of light and you need to be dry. They can't get wet. So greenhouses. So, I've got so many ideas. I know that I'm going to do very, very well once I have a babysitter, once I have a nanny. So I'm going to channel right now about my guide's words on Rosalind Jocelyn. Let's go with you guys because you've been my anchor and my foundation in all this. So what would you say about starting to charge for sessions as an intuitive? Because I'm going to teach people to channel. I'm just documenting my process, building a website, whatever business ideas, advice you have. Dear Kelly, so we want to caveat, Kelly, right now that you you feel the superpower in this and you're ready to go with it, but you need to temper it with meditation. You cannot let your ego get out of control. You've got to temper it with silence. And you haven't meditated yet today. So you're going to have to make time for that. You can't just feel like you're on top of the world and take off with your ego's goals. We're going to learn from Atlantis. We're not letting Atlantis happen again. Atlantis was where they got too cocky and they weren't checking their ego. So as we go through this process of ascension, you're going to feel like your highest version. You're going to feel on top of the world. And you need to understand that you need to fuel that back into humanity. You have to fuel that back into Earth. You have to keep tying it back around to healing society. And you're still sort of feeling that survival, that need for survival, that desire to be comfortable with money so you don't have to worry anymore. And we want you to understand that your your foundation of security is not in money, Kelly. You're coughing because we want you to understand your body's fragile. If you don't take care of your body, it can't take care of you. And in order to effort, you need a body. So you've got to understand that you don't need your body, but it is an opportunity. It's a place for you to gauge whether or not you're keeping your ego in check. If you know you're keeping your body healthy, you're keeping your ego in check. So it's like, you don't have to ask us, is it okay to have this cigarette? Because your body's going to tell you whether it's okay or not. We want you to channel your body. We want you to find a balance between your integrity and your success. So meditation, number one. Once you have integrity and you're walking that line of continually scanning your ego for places where it's sort of getting out of control or out of alignment or disassociating or whatever, you're a safe place for people. If you're doing that, if you're working on yourself, you're a safe place for money to funnel through into the new earth. So that's where we're watching for. We're watching your guys' egos to see if you're able to hold on to the light to solve your problems. So once you've established that, that's kind of what you have to do to graduate for Kellie, is to establish that you're always going to hustle for the light, no matter how tempting or distracting the earth and the ego and the duality is. Then you can just make your business look like whatever you want to. Okay, you want to charge $100 for 30 minutes? That's great. You know, a couple girlfriends could go in together and $50 each have like a really fun mom date, you know. And if you want to linger on the phone call longer, you've got the whole hour. So you could even hang out if you want to stretch it out. If you're feeling like it's good energy and it's just like feels good, you'll figure this out. That's a good idea. The first 15 people to be discounted so you can kind of work out the kinks of it. We want next to mention that the women's circles are where you're going to find a lot of these answers, because we're going to give you the foundation of confidence through intuition, so that you know you have energetic frequencies inside you that are holding the answers in the form of some sort of story. Okay? You've got problems in your life, and you think that they are like accidents. They're just inconveniences in your way to your goals. But what you need to do is redefine that as the problems in your life are redirections from your Holy Spirit. What is your Holy Spirit? Your spirit guide team. The problems in your life are your spirit guide team going glitch on your soul path, reassess what you're doing here. What are you trying to do here? And for example, that can be depression. When you're going about your life and then you hit depression, what that means is, and there's many different ways to look at this, but ultimately it's going to be along the lines of trauma that was disassociated from is coming closer. You've called on some sort of healing. That means you need to correct what this trauma made you believe as a child. So you were traumatized as a child. You picked up a belief about yourself that hurts, and then you filed it away deep in the recesses of your deep mind storage where you can't really find it. But you know it's there, because we never really forget. We hold on to things even though we don't want to look at them. We're still holding on to it. But that's a shadow now, right? It's a repression. But as you heal and as you peel away the layers of healing, so say you've been like, you're traumatized as a kid, you move out of your house and you're like, okay, now I'm independent and I've always really wanted to be healthy in this way. And then you start doing that and you're like, oh good, now I feel like cleaner. I see this that needs to heal. And you got all these superficial surface stuffs, things where you want to, you know that you need to clean this up. You know that you need to clean this up. This is too obvious. You got to do it. And then there's the subtle nagging anxiety sort of stuff where it's like, God, I want to feel better about that, but I don't really understand it. That's where your intuition is calling you. Okay, this school is calling. I better take that.